let's play some Catan. Let's have a look at the board. So immediately I think the 6-9-3 is the best position on the board. It's ore, best resource in the game. And I do think you have a lot of spots in return that go with it. So this is also a very interesting spot with the wheat board. And the only good wheat is here up front. So not everyone will access good wheat. However, someone will take the 6 for 11. So I do think the 6-9-3 is the very strong position. We are third position, so we as third position you generally want to look for the rarest resource. In general, you want to look for the rarest resource in combining with the production. So the high producing spots most of the time on this kind of boards on the coast. So 6-9-3, 8 for 10, 5-9-10. Yeah, the 6-5-11 is not that great. It's in the middle. It is cheap though, and I don't think you can combine it with any other spot. The 6-4-3 and the 2-5-10 might work though. But I think the 6-3-4 with the 9-10-11, that's really strong. But I don't think, yeah, it could be open, and this could be open as well. Hopefully she doesn't take this spot, but because if she doesn't take this spot, I think I have a really strong setup as third position. There are a lot of sheep and wheat combinations, so you generally want to look for the rarest resource, and that's definitely the ore here. So if she's smart, I think she has to take 9-10-11, then you have a lot of options. So if you take this spot, what do we do? I do think... Oh, okay, you don't take that spot. I think that is a mistake though, because now I can take the 9-10-11 and I will get the 3-4-8 or the 6-4-3 or the 6-4-11 or the 8-4-10 even. So, bro, all are great spots to combine with the 9-10-11. So let's place it here. And this spot will probably be open, I think. This one might be open as well. We could also place it upwards. Yeah, I think I will put it here. Because I think most likely we will get a spot here and then we could sneak in longest road, for example. If we get a road building card. And the 3 wheat is definitely nice for our game, because we will get a lot of sheep also. Every spot that is open will have some sheep and wheat. And wheat is more important than sheep, especially because we have a decent amount of ore. So what do you take as for position? You have to take highest producing spots, I think. Maybe you value the ore, so you want to take this spot. And then you can take the 6-4-3, for example, or the 8-4-10. So if you take this spot, that would be the worst for us, because we generally don't want to stick with the 10 wheat. But it's still a great producing spot. So I don't mind that much, but preferably we want to get 6-4-3, or yeah, I think you take the 6-4-11, right? I think that's the strongest for you. You don't need that much wheat. Ah, okay. So I don't... Ah, so this is very bad for us actually, because we don't have that much wheat. He did everything to block us out of the wheat. That's something that is very clear. So we do like wheat, and this kind of spot is just too little. So I think the 6 for 11 can be great for us. We have a decent amount of sheep. You could take the A10. It's also really nice. We get the ore port, but generally the ore port's not that great. And I do think this 3 for 1 port here will be open. So, and this is a very high producing spot compared to this one. And we don't have anything about with this brick. Yeah, I do think the 6 for 11 is the best play here. Also settle on the rare wood, because I think someone wants wood on this board. It is such a rare board. Or even stronger speaking, I think you can't get a scarcer amount of wood, because you have the four lowest numbers of the game that are on wood. So it's really, yeah, and that kind exceptional board. But I do like this spot, because if we can build here on the 310 or the 6311 even, then we are in a big advantage. We have double wheat, double ore, double sheep. I think we are hard to stop then. So really interesting board. Yeah, gray. What does gray do here? I think you take the 6311. You could take the 810 though, because you have more ore and you do have some wood. So the 810, yeah, you take the 810. So that means we could be in a very strong position. So welcome to a new Catan game. Let's see. I already see here the 854 looks really strong, or the 8510. Probably as first position you want to look for ore and wheat. I do like this play actually. At least we can get some ore and wheat too. We either get the 8510 or the 348 I think. 569 is also a really good high producing spot. However, I don't see the wood port very useful, because I think the 649 will be taken. So I think as third position you have to look for the rarest resource. And well, there is a high chance that the 569 will be taken and the 649 will be taken. So if we choose to place it on 348, what do we get in return? Maybe this 348 and getting coordinated ore and wheat, but we only have 3 numbers. With the 348, yeah, I don't like my position as third, because what do? I could take the 649 here, but the 63 can be taken. 569 is also really strong, and you could compare it with the 348. It's also a viable option, but if I give this to, well, I do think it could work actually, the 569 in this case. What do we do? Well, that's placed on the 569 I think. Such a high producing spot. And I'm certain we will get the 348 in return. So then we will do it with production, buying a lot of development cards, because we do have some great sheep and wheat production. Maybe even building to the 5 ore, but I'm not sure about that. So as I think it's pretty clear, you take the 348 and something like the 692. That's what I would do. So what I didn't like also of taking the 348, you can't compare it with that much. Okay, he will placed on 3 numbers only. That's pretty surprising, I think. But okay. So yeah, you're really dependent on the 8. But I'm the only one that will likely get long road, because I'm on the best wood. If I place it here, I'm on the best brick. So do I think the 6-3 will be taken? It could be taken, probably. I think the 4-5-11 will be open, so because everyone is on the wheat. And I think so he's taking the 6-9-2, and blue will take, I think, the 6-3-11. You don't have anything. So yeah, let's put it on 6-4-9. Going this way. And he will get a good open spot, I think. So normally I always want to take the ore and wheat, but in this case especially I think it could work, the road strategy. You have coordinated sixes, and we are the only one basically competing for long road. I hope the 6-3 will be open so that we can get there if we have a lot of production here and trade this in for ore. Yeah, you take the 6-3-11. So blue, yeah, I won't take the 4-5-11, I think. Yeah, you take the 9-10-11. And to the right, yeah. Hey, welcome everyone. Let's play some Catan. So let's have a look at the board. We are third position. So the 5-6-9 here is, I think, a really solid spot. Another one could be the 5-8-10 over here. I like the production. And going to the 3-for-1 board. So what do we see more? I think these are the great spots. I think the 5-8-10 over here is a really solid spot, especially if you can combine it with the 3-4-8. But I don't think that will be open. So unfortunately I don't think we could get this spot, because I do think brown takes this spot. However, if he takes the 3-8-10 over here, okay, so that's interesting, because now I think I can take the 8-5-10 over here, and then either getting the 3-4-11 or the 8-4, or even the 8-5, which is, I think, a good spot. Yeah, I think the 8-5-10 here is the obvious choice. The other spots do have a really low production, except the 6-4-9, but you need the wheat, I think, to win. And we also need some ore, so I'm definitely looking at these spots over here for my second settlement. But let's just do this. Also, getting on the sheep board I think is really nice. But if we don't get it, it's not the end of the world. So curious what red decides to do. We will definitely get an ore spot if we want to. And I think I will do that. I think we have the strongest setup for ore with sheep if blue doesn't get this spot over here. If he gets this spot though, oh, okay, really interesting actually. So then you take the 6-4-9, right? Okay, so that's actually really bad for brown, I think. So now I have to make a decision. So I think blue takes the 6-3. Don't know what you are looking for wheat for sure, but you get either the 9-10-11 or the 4-5-11, I think you will take. So I definitely need some ore, I think, to win this game. We could start off 3-4-11 build to the 8-4, because I don't think blue or brown will take it. But we are really a bit dependent on the 10 rolling. However, I do think we can get good trades with red. So if we place it here with all the resources, with the 8-4 as a perfect settlement spot, I think. We are only lacking a bit of wheat though, so I'm thinking about the 3-4-11 build to the 8-4, or I could take the 8-4, the 8-5. And I do think this is too little ore to win the game. So yeah, let's do this. I do think the 8-4 will be open for us. So the only downside is we do have a little wheat production, which can be bad. And the other downside is we don't have access to a good port yet. So that's the downside, but I think it's still better than the 8-4 over here, because I think we can build to that. Hopefully quickly enough, so we are a bit dependent on the 5 and the 10 in the early game. So if I can, I will definitely trade with red a couple of... Okay, you take the 9, 10, 11. I can understand that, but you're lacking a bit of sheep now. So that makes us, I think, the perfect candidate to get large army as soon as we get to this one over here. Hey, welcome everyone. Let's play some Catan. So I have one thing to say in first, but I will say it after the board because this is the very important part. So what do we see here? A low ore board, actually, really low. So I do like the spots over here. It's the highest reducing spots. And the 5, 9, 10, yeah, it's not that great. Too many wood. But if you could pair it with the 6, 4, 3, for example, it could work, but you are lacking also a bit of wheat. So it's not great at all to be, I think, third position here, or even fourth. That's very bad also. So I do like this first settlement over here. So we have to see, what do we want? The 6 for 3 I think is viable, because you will get wheat and wood in return. And is one of the highest producing spots on the board. 9-10 could be possible, because you are basically monopolizing it. So the 9-10 with the 6-3-4 could definitely work, I think, here. So that's something we have to keep in mind. But the downside of that is we are third position, so fourth position could easily take this spot over here and screw us over. However, it might still work if we place our first settlement on the 9-10 and then either getting one of these spots over here. If you take the 6-3-4 though, that is, I think, really bad. So I'm not sure if I want to take this spot over here. Okay, so you are, I think you want to get the 9-10, that's for sure. So what do we do here? So I'm tempting to take the 6-3-4 here, because I do think we have a lot of outs. We can get the 5-9-10, the 3-8-10 is nice, and even the 9-10 I think is viable here. And if we do choose this spot at first, we might don't have that many good things to combine it with. Only the 6-3-11, so it's not that great. And this will not be open. I think this is not a good spot at all. And this also not very great. You can combine it with the 4-5-11. But is that winning though? I don't think so. Because you don't having any ore. And it's the only spot we can combine it with. So I think I will take the 6-3-4 here. But it was tough. So let me know in the comments what you would do here. Because I'm not sure. So if you take the 3-8-10, you either get the 6-3-4 or the 4-5-11. But is this a winning setup? Because it's hard to connect. And the 5 brick might be blocked a lot. It's also not that great. And you don't have ore. So I think I do like this placement over here. And now I have the flexibility. I have a lot of things I can do as my second position. So that's also what you have to look for. What are your outs if you come back for it? So what I want to say early is, please subscribe to the channel if you find this useful. That helps me making more videos for you guys. I'm planning to make a lot in the future as well. So I would really appreciate if you want to help me and support me. Okay, so the 9-10 is taken. So I think you want some sheep. So you either take the 5-9-10 or the 6-3-11. Okay, so that is also a fine play. Yeah, didn't see that coming though. I think we can take the 3-8-10 now. I think that is a really strong spot, and I don't think as green you will definitely don't want to take it, and also as blue, as purple, I don't think you take the 8-4 over here. You either take the 6-3-11 or the 2-4-9, because yeah, I don't know what green wants to do. I think he's screwed over. And if we can get to the 8-4, that's a really good settlement spot for us. So I'm very tempting to do this. And we are the only one on good wheat. So I think we could get some trades with red as well. So yeah, I think this is definitely the spot to take here. No doubt about it. So we do have some very good production actually. I think we're one of the strongest. Maybe with purple. And I don't think also I'm contested by green, because you can't get wood and brick anymore, and I think you would rather go to the sheep board. So I think the 8-4 is a really nice settlement spot. So let's see what green decides to do. That's why I didn't like this pick. You don't have many outs. So you can take the 5-9-10, just raw production. It's very unbalanced. So you have no brick and no ore, most likely. You could take this one. I think you have to take this one. Because if purple gets to this one over here and builds to this one, I think he can be really strong with all these wood. You can pour it in for ore and wheat. I think green expected the 9-10 to go, but you can be sure, especially on such a low ore board, that will be the case. So that's why I didn't place it here, because I don't want, or well, I didn't have a choice because, oh yeah, I did have a choice. Yeah, you take the 5-9-10. So I think as purple you take the 6-3-11 or the 2-4-9 and build to the 6-2. I think that is very viable too. Not sure what you want to do as purple. I think both options are fine. But I think if you placed here, you have too much wood. I think you would rather have extra wheat and some good sheep. And maybe, because you have some raw material, build into the 9-12 over here. Could be viable. But if you want the wood board and you want this extra wood over here, it's also viable. What you could also do is maybe place on 3-9-11 and build to the 6-11, but I think that's just too slow, because you have first build to this one or to this one and then to this one. And the 6-3-11 is a little bit more production, but you do have some ore to start with, which could be really nice by an early night. Oh, sorry. Let me put it back. Okay,